Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Terminus Podcast for the weeks of August 9th, 2014. This is episode number 7. With me, as always, I have Wybold, TJ, and Milky as my co-hosts, and I am your host, Ellis. And remember, the train will terminate at this station.
I like trains.
Okay, this week we are visiting beautiful Florida, in which it is dark and the streetlights are very bright.
Yes, it's very beautiful.
Maybe we'll figure out as we go along where exactly this is based on the traffic we get, but we aren't exactly sure. So I guess over to Ellis for rail fanning.
Yeah, I saw an engine go by on this already, so it looks like it's not a bad camera. But I couldn't read the
I
side.
thought that was your rail fanning. I saw an engine go past.
No.
Why
I just had to talk about the camera. At the same time, I also saw a fire truck try and beat the gates.
Did it win?
Succeed in beating the gates. I haven't really done much this week in terms of actually leaving the house, considering I had my wisdom teeth taken out, but that does factor in one of the stories. Before that happened, though, I was driving back from somewhere where I can't remember where I was, and I caught an MBTA train, except it didn't have an F40 on the head, which was disappointing for me. It had one of their brand new locomotives, which I'm pretty sure is a -8. So it was really cool to see, but no luck for me, because no metal machine.
What?
The other story is when I actually felt well enough to leave the house and possibly do some rail fanning, walk down from my house to the bridge over Apponaug, where the Northeast Corridor goes by. And I got most of the way there until I made a stupid mistake and opened my mouth too wide, popped a stitch, and was suddenly bleeding profusely in front of a lot of stopped traffic.
So did you have to go get it repaired now, or?
My mouth?
Yeah, your mouth.
No, I came back home and stuffed it with gauze, and I was better. But
What?
the real kicker was that I'm standing there in front of all these stopped cars that are waiting for a red light, and the traffic gets really bad over there. But in front of all these stopped cars, and they've got nothing better to do than stare at this pedestrian on the side of the road who has blood leaking, from his mouth onto the ground. And I got some looks like I wasn't sure if they were going to call in an ambulance or a zombie removal team on me. Because I most certainly didn't look well.
Are you taking a shower tonight or tomorrow?
Somebody offered me a ride, and I just had to turn away, like, don't look at my face.
Okay.
I just walked as quickly as I could back to my house.
Okay, tomorrow morning.
That's the extent of me seeing trains at
You
all.
don't have to come. But I need to go to check stuff for...
Wybold saw something.
I saw very little.
Yeah, it looks like very little because me reading that, it sounds like one car.
It is. One car.
Wow.
We were up north in Denver getting fiberglass for something I will talk about later. But we were up there and a few freight trains went past, nothing special, just Union Pacific. Yeah, again, nothing special. And one of the cars on the very tail end of this UP freight train caught my eye. And it was, it looked brand new, and it was not patched out, and it was a Southern Pacific gondola car. It had the old Sunset Southern Pacific Herald, and wasn't patched out, and looked brand new. And that's about it. Just thought that was cool.
I hate the Bushy Boy, but I see Missouri Pacific ones all the time in SP.
Well, there are a couple of Missouri Pacific ones on that. I just didn't think they were worth mentioning.
Wait, Wybold, what about the thing you said right before the Terminus started about what you saw?
That was a while ago.
Oh, that was a while ago?
It's still a cool story.
Yeah, you never told it on the Terminus.
Okay, I'll tell it. So, last summer, it's been more than a year now, I guess, we were going to, surprise, Durango to...
Of course.
Well, any rail fan knows exactly why we're going to Durango. I mean, they have awesome steak.
I like the sand there.
Yes, I like the fresh mountain air. It's filled with smoke and the sound of a drifting 5 chime. But anyway,
But
we're
I
on the
hate
way,
trains, so it doesn't count.
and we're in Alamosa, and it is the middle. It's about 10 miles from nowhere, like literally. You think the desert's the middle of nowhere? Well, this is actually the desert, isn't it? It's the middle.
Well, you said
nowhere.
it's 10 miles from the desert.
It's 10 miles from nowhere. It is the desert. It's just 10 miles from nowhere.
It's 10 miles
in
away
the middle
from
of nowhere,
more desert.
We're paralleling these tracks going westward, and I'm watching. Yep, UP Freight, BNSF Coal Train. Just the usual stuff. And then up ahead at a grain elevator, we see this thing coming at us, and it's a really hazy day, and we can't tell what it is. And I think it's an RS3, maybe because the headlight is really low. And
Question.
Yes.
How often do you see RS3s?
I didn't, and that's why we were all kind of puzzled by it, because the headlight was strung really low, and it was belching smoke. And
possibly an Alco.
Yeah, I'm like, well, it must be I thought it was an RS3. My sister thought it was on fire.
Not a bad guess.
And my dad thought it was actually a steam engine. I was like, nah, it wouldn't be a steam engine. I would know about this. And we get closer and closer and closer, and then suddenly, boom, San Luis and Rio Grande number 18, a fully restored 100-year-old 280 consolidation goes by. No cars in tow.
So was it standard
just
gauge?
on its own?
Yeah. No, it's standard gauge. This is like this is actually the one standard gauge steamer in the state that we have operating.
Okay, so why was it there? Did you ever figure that out?
Because when I looked back at the maps, I hadn't realized it before. 10 miles from nowhere is 3 miles from a town called Alamosa, where 18 is based.
Yeah, but why was it just doing that?
Because it runs regular excursions there. It had probably just finished with its daily train.
Oh. But where the hell would it leave its daily train that it goes and parks somewhere else?
Alamosa.
Well, yeah, but where was it going to park?
I don't know. Maybe they were taking it out for a proving
figure it
run.
out.
There was absolutely nobody on it, and they were just kind of running. They were headed toward Alamosa. I don't know what. Maybe they had helped a freight train out of town or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
They've done that before.
Oh my.
What the hell freight train needed?
San Luis and Rio Grande is a Class 3 as well as a scenic.
Oh.
They've used the steamer on revenue freight before.
That's awesome.
Well, I'd like to see them buy some more engines and do that again.
Yeah. But TJ, you have something that I'm very interested in, a 2-foot gauge standard steam engine?
Sounds like a bad Russian conversion.
No, it's not a Russian.
Well, no, I didn't think it was. I mean, it sounds like something that would happen.
Oh, yeah, probably would, because it did. Hershey Park is a very fun amusement park. I went there today for the first time since I was like 5 years old. But anyway, they have a train. It's 2-foot gauge, but the trains are not 2-foot gauge as you'd expect.
Yeah.
They are standard gauge live steam locomotives running on 2-foot gauge track.
Standard gauge live steam.
So it basically looks like what you see when you see a regular sized dude in a tiny bicycle.
Yes, but they actually they can actually fit in a cab. It's really weird.
Well, yeah, no. No, I mean just with the engine versus the wheels. The dude versus the bike.
Yeah. And then the cars...
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
The cars are like a standard amusement park 2-foot gauge cars. They're just the wide-bodied, open-air seating cars. But then they have this one car. It looks like a regular, like a steam air passenger car, like the ones you'd see at Strasburg Railroad or Durango and Silverton. Well, they're not standard gauge or narrow gauge, but it's really thin. It's
like...
What?
What was that? But it's thin enough that I could... it's probably as...
You could hug it?
It's probably 5 inches or half a foot on each side wider than the rails. and the rails are 2 feet, and it's really narrow, but it's based off of standard gauge, so it looks really out of place. But people actually sit in it.
So cute.
It's very weird looking. It looks very, very tall and very wide, and very narrow.
Like everything SR and RL.
Yes, but it's not narrow gauge. It's standard gauge on 2-foot track. Like, it's modeled off of standard gauge on 2-foot track. So it's not like it's not the width of 2-foot gauge, like from the trucks
to the height.
It's the height.
What? So it just looks like somebody took a regular old passenger car and just stretched it?
It looks like
they squished it.
It looks like someone went on Google Images, took a bad picture of a passenger car, and moved it
moved the edges in.
Yeah, moved the edges in.
So they just made it look thinner.
They made it look thinner, but they also made it look longer. It's really long and really... Okay, I'm not gonna...
Oh my!
Oh my.
And then, there's a...
you typically have that problem?
God damn it.
Hey, this is a family podcast, Milky. Watch your language.
Since when?
Explain what's this.
I don't know.
We hardly have anyone listening to this, let alone families.
Daddy, can we go watch the Terminus? Watch is the keyword here,
No.
because it's just a thumbnail.
It's about the goddamn rainbow.
Okay. So, anyway.
It's not a rainbow train, Milky. It's a trainbow.
Anyway, I also went rail fanning, technically, because Hershey Park is right next to train tracks that serve the Hershey chocolate factory. Well, used to, I guess.
They get massive shipments of chocolate.
They have. It would be actually cool if I saw boxcars that said Hershey's on the side, like an O-scale train. Like, you know how they have the O-scale Hershey cars?
Yeah.
If they had that,
boxcars, they're always tank cars.
Well, no, they have boxcars. I've seen them. But if they had that just in real life being pulled by 3 -8s, like a whole train of Hershey's boxcars.
Again, if I could get robbing the Union Express, I'd rob that train every day.
But they didn't have that. I saw a couple...
Well, you could do it for a few days and then you'd be too fat.
You'd be like, oh,
You're just gonna fall off of the bridge above the track onto the car. Boom!
And hopefully...
Chasing after it in your electric wheelchair.
But, so I saw 3 trains. One of them was a small little local with a Conrail shoving platform on the end. Notice how it's not considered a caboose.
Oh.
But it was being...
A shoving platform?
But it was...
You know, I think I know why they were using it.
What?
I think I know why they were using it.
Why?
There must have been an emergency.
Whoa! 800-272-0911. I'm eating toast. Give me a break.
What is it, you and toast?
It's delicious. You should try it sometime.
You eat too much toast on this podcast.
I know, you're like... That's like a weekly occurrence. It's like the rail fanning section, but for you it's the toast
It's more than
section.
a weekly...
Just some toast. Give me some slack.
And now, Weimel eats toast. There should
This
just
is
be
a
a
toast.
whole...
This is a cupcake.
Oh, you said it was toast. You're lying.
No, I finished the toast. Now it's a cupcake.
Alright, I'm giving you both 1 for not shutting about toast.
Okay.
Alright, but anyway, so I saw one of the, it looked like a local grain train with a shoving platform being shoved by an SD45, I think. It looked like that, an SD45.
Was it a Conrail SD45 or what?
No, it was Norfolk Southern. It had a Conrail caboose. Well, shoving platform.
That makes sense. Not.
What's your function?
Well, it was blue, so it was obviously
That's
Conrail. But, and then I saw an intermodal, well, I saw parts of it because it was behind trees, but I saw an intermodal train going by. And then on the way home, I saw a train going under the bridge that I was on with 3 -8s. It was a mixed freight, not a mixed train. A mixed freight. But anyway,
Right.
it was a mixed freight, and it had a lot of tank cars and 3 -8s, and one of them was a Canadian Pacific, and it looked pretty nice.
How dashing.
What? Good one. That's a strike, Ellis.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
All right, Milky. Speaking of Milky,
Now the only one who doesn't is the guest that doesn't exist.
The Rainbow Dose.
Milky.
Penguin.
Oh, this is gonna be about 5 seconds.
Okay, so
Wait,
I saw.
Can we time this?
No.
And go.
Okay, so I saw 2 Portland and Western Railroad freight.
Milky.
My favorite trucks are Charlie 3 Union Pacifics. My trip to steam up in the...
More confusing. Okay,
Ellis.
but in all seriousness, I saw 2 P&W switching the yard, 5 Amtrak's.
Gonna go
I
get
think-
some ice cream.
I think most of them were the CoStar type. And a trolley, which I'll talk about when I describe my trip to the steam up in Woods, Oregon. And 3 Union Pacifics with pretty standard power in the nesting 90 nap, which was pretty nice. Now my trip to the Oregon steam up in Woods. It's also home to the Willow Creek Guide Steam Railroad as well. Which, it has a sizable connection. It's really kid-friendly from what I've heard.
Trains and kid-friendly doesn't really mix unless Thomas is a word in there.
No.
That's true, but you see, like there used to be toy trains and not toy trains, but there used to be a little ride-on trains in Roger Williams Park where I used to work. There was a live steam one for a while until they rearranged the park and it got shut down, and now the only thing left is the tunnel, which is just a dilapidated storage shed. I've been in there once. It was creepy as all hell.
Ghost tunnel.
It wasn't a ghost tunnel. It was just like the roof was rotting and falling in.
I have a story later forgot about that.
Yeah, but the trolley was from San Francisco, I think. And they had awesome SP. No, it wasn't SP, but it was a 410 and it was out on a track, so it's pretty nice. And I rode the trolley a few times, and I saw some steam tractors. They also have a truck museum there, and they had pretty good cars, so, and a cheap scale setup, and a tank parade. Which admittedly was fun to see. Tanks.
A tank parade?
Yes. A tank parade.
Military tank?
Yes. More.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
While we march and drill over field and hill.
They had almost every kind of tank, from tanks that served in Afghanistan to ones that served in World War One. Which
that's fantastic.
Yeah, it was pretty badass to watch.
You should have taken some pictures and sent them to Gaijin and been like, get on this.
Yeah.
Gaijin.
Okay, but that's about all I did for whale fanning and tank and whatever else I did. But I think that was a good 5 minutes. So suck it.
Well done, Milky.
Indeed.
Alright, so nothing too significant going on in my jurisdictions. Nothing as big as the tax breaks for the T1 project last episode.
Tender decade.
But, also I did forget to mention to Weibold that I think I forgot to mention that the Providence Northern is under the same category
of
the tax exemption.
I hate you guys.
We're a charity.
I hate you guys.
Because
you're a charity?
In a way, because our mission is about... It's written in such a way that we are about educating people on railroads and model railroading.
Mother of God.
Wow. And you yell at me about loopholes.
I didn't set it up.
That's fair.
The most significant things are in Maine, on the Maine narrow gauge. The engine number 4, which was recently taken out of service for its mandatory rebuild, and probably won't get that rebuild for a while.
Cough, cough, budget cuts.
Mm-hmm.
No, because they're working on another engine. They're working on number 7.
Yeah, but you can't say they have money to spare.
Oh, no, they don't. But it's not because of budget cuts. In fact, they've made great strides lately. They bought new property and they're laying new track. But for that engine number 7 when it's done. But engine number 4 is moved to inside display, so it's going to be available for public viewing, which is better than it was when I was there, which is when the engine was operational. They stored it out of sight. And, in fact, off-site when they weren't actually using it. Which was kind of a shame because I didn't get to see it. The only other thing is from Have Engine Will Travel, and it's that Sadie, the 060, is traveling to St. Mary's, Georgia, I believe in the beginning of October.
Hooray, October.
So that's the next important thing. Yeah,
no,
October 4th to October 4th to October 12th. The St. Mary's Railroad is
They're not part of it.
going to be holding the St. Mary's Theme Express special, so they're going to have the 060 down there to pull the trains, which is going to be pretty cool.
Don't get that on my...
No news on what Hank is doing right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was Hank.
I heard he was traveling across country with a bunch of idiots who stole an engine from Steamtown.
What engine did they steal? None of them run.
Shout out to the zombie train.
Whoop, whoop.
Who knows, you might encounter the bunch of idiots that took a GS4.
No, but I'll definitely encounter someone who stole number 18.
Woo!
So, moving on to the person who stole number 18.
Yay!
Good segue, Ellis.
Don't mention the goddamn segues. We finally got away from that.
Oh, no, Paul Blart.
God damn it.
Okay, so I have nothing...
Wybold, you're getting another one for that.
Oh, come on!
Oh, I get it now.
Thought nobody had heard it. Dang it.
It took me a minute to get it. I got it now.
Oh, okay.
God damn it.
So this week I have nothing and everything at the same time.
Good.
Nothing for the Durango and Silverton. They still have restored the Yankee Girl. Woo. The Cumbres and Toltec, the only thing is that they're running a special freight charter with number 463, the Mud Hen, at the lead, which is a K-27 for those of people who aren't proficient in Rio Grande Narrow Gauge.
I'm not.
Nothing for the San Luis and Rio Grande except for the 18, I think, is still in service. I don't know. I couldn't find anything on the 18.
18.
Nothing for the Georgetown Loop except for that they didn't burn anything down with their fireworks train.
Said that last week.
Nothing for the RGSR. What is it? Rio Grande. I don't even know what that one. Oh, I think that's a Royal Gorge Scenic. I was like, Rio Grande Southern. There is no Rio Grande Southern. Nothing for the Royal Gorge Scenic. Other locals are that the State Railroad Museum recently restored, wait for it, tender decking 491. The engine that is tender decking is alive. They brought it back to life.
So it was obviously more than just tender decking.
Yes. They have done a lot more than tender decking to it, and it now lives. It is
Hooray.
the K-37 is the largest class of narrow gauge engine to run on the Denver and Rio Grande Western narrow gauge, and I believe was the largest rigid frame narrow gauge engine to run in the U.S.
Damn it.
So, like, the largest not including articulateds, which were the K-37s. They were converted from C-41s, which were standard gauge consolidations, and made into narrow gauge Mikados to support the firebox.
They gave them smaller wheels.
Yeah,
more wheels.
Again, with the big fat dude on the tiny bicycle.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't look nearly as bad as that, but
yeah. But brief history lesson on them. They were put into service.
Not for another couple weeks.
I have it in a few days.
That sucks.
Yeah. But they were put into service. Engineers generally didn't like them because they were converted engines. They tended to waddle, and because they were a little bit larger, they couldn't make it. They were larger and heavier, so they couldn't make it on branches like
squad.
They couldn't make it on the Silverton branch or the Chile line because of weight restrictions and size restrictions. So they were pretty confined as to where they could run. And eventually they were all withdrawn. 497 was running in the 80s, and then it was sold to the Cumbres and Toltec, and surprise, surprise, now it's dead because Cumbres and Toltec, they tend to kill all of their steam engines that, We'll get to it eventually. 3 years later. Well, it's rusted beyond repair, so we're just going to leave it out front the roundhouse. But this engine was sold to the Colorado Railroad Museum after... I can't remember specifically what it did. It was...
Died.
It had
barrel roll.
It had some weird past and then got sold to the State Road Museum.
Oh, that kind of what it did. Oh.
TJ. And it finally has been restored. It's not even cosmetically restored yet, as Ellis saw from the... You can look up videos of it. It's... it doesn't have a boiler jacket.
One will be in the cargoes.
Okay. It doesn't have a boiler jacket. It doesn't have cylinder covers. The pilot's not complete. It doesn't have a headlight. The cab, like half of the cab is missing.
And it could use a coat of paint.
Yes, and it could definitely use a nice coat of paint. It is very rough looking, but it runs. So, woo, 491. It's alive. The only K-37 to run in like 30 years. And then the last story...
Enthusiasm.
Yeah, enthusiasm. Well, I mean, 491's an enthusiastic engine. It brought us enthusiasm with tender decking.
Well, exactly.
We make it enthusiastic, even though it's not really anything. Tender decking.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, one good thing.
It's better that it moves.
Yeah, and it can actually move and show off that tender decking. But anyway, last story.
Tender decking.
Last story I have for assigned jurisdictions is this was brought up with Ellis's haunted tunnel story that I remembered.
Oh dear me!
And it's called Forney's Happy Haunts, and it basically is the Forney Museum, which I should have talked about this last week, where the big boy and all that equipment is. They have an N-scale layout that they keep there, and it is absolutely huge. It has some of the biggest scenery I've ever seen on a layout. Like, it doesn't look like you're this giant guy standing next to the track. It looks like you're a helicopter watching the trains from, like, a few hundred yards away. Like,
that's pretty cool.
Like, it's you, and then there's a valley, and then the track, and then a full mountain behind it.
So it sounds like it's reminding me of Temeros Vale and Anaconda.
Yes, you're much further away from the trains, and it's much... Again, instead of looking like you're standing right next to the track, it looks like you're a helicopter flying down a valley and watching this train snake along. But in the same room as this layout is where the Forney Museum keeps everything that they have yet to restore and put on display. And
Wait, how big is this room?
Very large. It's a warehouse.
Oh.
It's a warehouse extension of the main building.
That explains it.
Well, the layout's kind of confined to a little fenced-off area that has lights, and then the rest of it just goes and goes and goes, and it gradually gets darker and darker. And there's just all these creepy old cars with broken windows and flat tires that just go and go and go. There was like this old plane that only had one wing, and my dad and I both made the decision. It is so creepy, even in the daylight. At night, it would be so creepy. And
play Manhunt in there.
Yeah.
I bet it'd be the greatest thing ever.
And that went for the main part of the museum as well. They were saying they hosted, it's like a few other museums. They've got all their cars and stuff, and then they have mannequins that are like in the coaches and on the cars and stuff.
Oh no!
And they say that they host some events, and they're hosting a wedding, and the bride of the wedding said she loved the museum and everything, except for one mannequin, and she pointed out and demanded that the mannequin be removed for the wedding. So
that's fantastic.
Because it creeped her out so much. One mannequin was so creepy.
There's a mannequin, about where I got to in my inevitably doomed walk. There is a mannequin directly across the street on someone's back porch in, like, a bright yellow outfit. I have no idea. But every time I stop at that red light, I turn my head and it's like, ah.
Yeah,
I've seen that drive through there a couple times on this.
Yeah. I didn't notice it until maybe a week ago, or a couple weeks ago when I was taking Emilio to the train club, and it was like, what the hell is that? Why is it there?
Why are you here? It's watching you. Weeping angel, weeping angel, weeping angel.
Don't blink.
Don't blink. But, TJ, you have some restoration information on Strasbourg. Restoration information.
All right. So,
if I could give half points, what would?
That counts as a song point. So Strasburg Railroad has quite a plethora, word of the week, of rolling stock that they do not have restored. Now,
like every other railroad museum ever. Cough, cough, Steamtown.
Yeah, but
they have a little more than most.
But, so, engine number 31, otherwise known as 7312, went out of service in 2010, and a couple weeks ago, I went to Strasburg hoping to see it, because number 90 was the only operational locomotive at that moment. So I was hoping to see 31/7312 in operation. But as it turns out, since 2010 up to now, it's been undergoing almost a full restoration, even though it was an operational engine. So they're still in progress with that, but on the next episode of the Terminus, I will talk about it even more, because I'm going to a back shop tour tomorrow. So I will find out information on what's going on with 31 for all you Strasburg people out there. Milky!
And just Steam people in general, I'm sure.
What?
What? I was starting to fall asleep because it's taking that long.
Wow.
No, chicken. Okay, Podcast.
Way to make me feel bad, Milky.
839. Wait, no. Epic fail at that. Okay. Podcast, 819. So far, $91.25 in donations to
Ooh. We should cheer when they hit $100.
Yes, we should.
Or
no, we should
$50.
host like a telethon for them.
When they reach $25, we'll have a party.
Help us help the podcast raise $2,500 for a new ultrasound machine that we will use on the 819 and two other related projects after 119 is done, of course, because 44s have the priority over everything. Even a big boy. Cup, 16. Okay, unless if we can borrow one from another club out there.
No.
Once they get the machine, then in a few months, 819 will be fully operational.
Operation.
Well, let's hope they get that machine.
Yeah, let's hope we have
one more engine out.
One more.
The metal machine.
The love machine?
The metal machine. What the hell?
Metal machine.
It's close to midnight.
And he's barking at the moon.
That was close.
I've been trying. I've changed my mind about how I'm doing things, and I'm trying to write the cargoes as I go right now. So it's keeping me a little bit distracted. I know I'm up next. My current event here is something airing a little bit on the bright side of how the Northeast Corridor and Amtrak is going.
There is a bright
opposed
side?
to the Late Shore Limited saga from a couple episodes ago. Where New Jersey Transit is concerned in New Jersey, from Trenton to New Brunswick, they're spending quite some money in order to update the infrastructure for the tracking, and especially the infrastructure for the overhead wires, in order to enable service up to 160 miles per hour. Which is, I believe, faster than the trains even hit over here, and I'm very close to their fastest point. But it's a 23-mile stretch, or that 23-mile stretch from Trenton to New Brunswick will be the first area, and there are a lot of people behind this, which is very good.
Good thing we're not in front; they might get run over. Haha.
That's one for you, Jay.
I cracked myself up.
Yeah, you don't crack us.
Well, Wybold's not here, so I don't know if he'd laugh.
He might shake his head. But, one more step in making the Northeast Corridor one continuous fast-running corridor.
Well, except for, after Washington, D.C.
That doesn't count. Except for poor Connecticut with the grade crossings.
No matter how, or the drawbridges.
Because people will get obliterated. The only other person here who has anything is Milky, and he has a couple of things, one of which I would say he stole from me, except he did find it first.
No, O'Gillies found it first.
O'Gillies isn't here.
Well, he found it first
He's dead.
before the Terminus.
Everyone killed him.
No.
Okay.
He got lost in space a couple hours ago.
Space base?
No.
I am space.
But come play Space Engineers with us.
Cool.
So.
I don't have it.
The world might begin an express railroad.
Ooh,
Or
copies.
so I've been told. No, they're actually being helped out by the same people that do own the Strasbourg Railroad.
Really? The Strasbourg Railroad Company?
TJ. Let him speak.
Okay, so...
What is the name of this new project?
They
Strasbourg
plan
Railroad
on...
Dose.
Shut up. They're looking into the feasibility of offering a choice train service to carry people between Berlin, Norwalk, and Snow Hill, Maryland. Right now they're being funded and whatnot. I don't know if they have any entrance, but
Well, they can have number 39 when it's done, not 31.
Yeah.
39, the Long Island Railroad one.
God damn it. I need to talk about that, but on the other hand,
Why do you need to talk about it? It's
officials
mine.
said that the study would take between 60 and 45 days. It's hoping to bring the county the results in September. As he has heard a lot from residents interested in seeing plans for the train to move forward.
Excellent.
So it's not Strasbourg because it'll go forward.
Yeah. There's a lot of excitement and buzz
Oh.
about it.
Well, it's not really Strasbourg Railroad if it gets someone from somewhere to another place. It's more of a commuter railroad, right?
Yeah, but that's far superior to your tourist railroad where you don't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, but apparently...
Even something like Cumbres and Toltec or Durango and Silverton, I guess. It's better than that because, you're going from point A to point B, I guess. It's kind of negated because the bus takes you back on the Cumbres and Toltec, but...
And, well...
No, they still...
You
still
can
want to
take a bus back.
You can't, yeah.
Say
I
on the
know.
Durango and Silverton. You can take a bus back if you want.
Well, on the Durango and Silverton, you do have the train that goes up and then goes back to where it started, whereas Cumbres and Toltec, you have the two trains that go in opposite directions.
Right, that's true.
2 trains.
Durango and
And,
Silverton have
one-
4 every day.
Yeah. Well, Durango and Silverton doesn't take quite as long as and they don't stop for lunch.
It takes 3 hours. One way.
Well,
Yeah, well,
They
and
do
I
stop for lunch. It's just in Silverton.
that's beside the point.
I also found this article entitled "We're Not All Bored." Amtrak train departs Penn Station without passengers. Someone got fired. I can tell you that much.
Did they? Did they really? Because I would hope
don't
so. Hopefully it was that woman that I met at Albany.
Whoa,
Oh,
man.
Don't wish evil on people, even if they are evil people.
Yeah.
No, I'm not wishing evil on people, I'm wishing justice on people.
You're wishing
You
just
don't hear me wishing hate on CSX's CEO because he won a challenger. Or
Oh, wait. Why would CSX run a Challenger?
because they did back in the 1990s. Why not?
because
What?
of the financial concerns and because their CEO doesn't want to.
And because they
That's
derailed
why
it.
not.
And because most of the track that CSX covers probably isn't suited for a Challenger to run
And
over
CSX doesn't own a Challenger.
it. Nor are they too close to one.
They used to have.
Yeah, but they don't anymore.
Okay, so
Is
on
and
with
ones are different words by like 2 letters.
I'm with Amtrak and enough of my ranting about how I hate railroads. Well, most railroads that don't steam in any way, shape, or form. But enough about that. An Amtrak train needs actually stranded at Penn Station in New York.
They leave them stranded with Penn Central 30 years ago.
Wow.
Amtrak prides itself on getting passengers where they're going on time, even if that means leaving the passengers behind.
Well, they're failing at both aspects of that.
On Saturday,
They left the passengers
You can take pride in something that you can't do.
Can you?
Well, they're doing it.
They take pride in being on time. Yeah, right.
Yeah, but
Yeah, on their website, there's a whole tab for historic on-time service.
Because it makes history when they do it.
Because it's a notable of. We need to keep tabs on that. Every time we'll go over. We need to have a segment in this about Amtrak on times for the past 2 weeks.
Well, Keystones are usually
Are they
on
that
time.
up to date? East Coast and West Coast, just coastal trains are usually on time in general.
Coast Starlight.
God damn it. That isn't on time.
Except for that one.
In general, there are exceptions in both cases.
Like Newport
on the East
News.
Coast, it's anything going south of Washington D.C.
Yeah.
But everything north of there, including I'm pretty sure the Downeaster, does pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, what would get in the way of a Downeaster? A cow or something?
You'd be surprised.
Or a moose?
Confederates.
A Forney?
CSX.
But apparently 85 people were left behind by this train. And it's all because the conductor said, on the right hand, I didn't know what the left was doing, and it was just so bizarre. So pretty much, they fucked up.
People got moved to the platform. People got moved to a different platform, but the train was not directed to that platform. But to make up for it, they were given pizza and Doritos.
and
Doritos.
And a pat on the back saying, you'll get there eventually.
You'll get there, just keep trying.
Well, they did let them get on the next train, so yeah pretty much.
Don't worry, pal. It'll all turn out okay.
Wait, they didn't make the other one just turn around?
No, they...
By the time they realized it was probably too far away.
Well,
it's like, oh, I'm so sorry, guys. See ya.
Yeah, well, like I said earlier, it'd be like, oh, well, you know, I'm in one of the most popular train terminals in the U.S., and there's nobody on the platform, but there's tons of people over there that are down here at the exact...
Well, this is Penn Station. It's not like,
it's Kingston.
It's not like there's 2 platforms.
It's not like it's Kingston or something.
It's open 9
exactly.
platforms.
But it's just like,
I've been on platform 9 3/4.
Well, there's
Yeah, that's when you ran into the wall and knocked yourself out. So...
No people must be empty today. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
New York's just asleep.
Ain't that ironic?
It's funny because it's the city that never sleeps.
That's why I said that.
Yes.
The more you know.
Ellis, why do you have 2?
Why do I have 2?
Yeah.
2 what?
2 things.
I don't remember. I gave it to me for something, but I just deserted for that one anyway, so...
Okay.
Moving on, so, Locomotive Versus pitting the pitting the Southern Pacific cab forward, the AC-12, versus the Duluth, Misab, and Iron Ranges Yellowstone type locomotive.
That's me, right?
That is you, TJ.
Alright, I have it pulled up.
And on the other hand, we have Milky supporting his favorites, the AC-12.
Yeah. Quite honestly, they are one of my favorite steam racings.
Which is why I knew he would support them to the death.
And they ran through you, so I believe him.
Also, by the way, Oh, wait, I forgot. We don't actually calculate wins right here. Although, no, if we're gonna do it this way, where it's one person versus one person, maybe you and I could be the judges as well.
Okay.
Because I was gonna say the winner would get one knocked off their score.
And if we disagree, and then
it's a tie.
No, it won't be a tie. Then it'll go to the viewers.
Well, yeah. No, I'm gonna ask the viewers anyways.
Oh, okay.
But we're the judges in this case.
Okay.
So, who's gonna fire the first shot?
I will with the number produced of them. There was only 20 produced.
So they're elite.
Yeah, and guess how many survived? One.
Which I've been in the cab of.
Guess how many cab forwards survived? One.
Okay. Well, so am I only talking about the DM and IR classes?
Here. This is
I already have the
a
link.
wiki page on it if you want it.
Yeah, I have it too. I have it on the Steam Locomotive website.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure you have the right one, because I did find it a little bit tricky to find the right one.
Now, see, am I comparing all of the classes of Yellowstone?
No. Just
DMIR,
Misab and Iron Range.
All right. Well,
the one that I sent you. Just go ahead and take that one.
Alrighty. Well, it's gonna be harder than I thought to find how many they were created. Because there are 5. Oh,
road
okay.
numbers 220 through 237, so 17.
It says 18.
18 then in change.
Well, because it says they received 8 from Baldwin in 1941, so they ordered 10 duplicates. But you do win in how many they produced. But I have
by 2.
I have
by
3. I have 3 that survived.
So he wins in survivors. What is the cab forward driver diameter?
I'll check that. Because SteamLocomotive.com doesn't want to show it. Oh wait, driver diameter. I think I can find it. I'm not trying to hold you guys up. I'm gonna check.
Well, I'll fill in by saying that the
63 inches. 63 inches.
Like,
you're equally matched.
Yeah, I was just say. Well, I guess we're tied.
What about boiler pressure?
Boiler pressure.
I have 240 for both the M3 and M4, which were both DM and IR classes.
I have 250 for the AC Trobe.
Way to be those guys, SP, again. Seriously?
No, it would have been worse if it was 241. But I do notice here that the Yellowstone has a perfect factor of adhesion at 4.00.
Yes.
What is your factor of adhesion on the cab forwards, Milky?
Look
if you can get it.
It's the name next to the boiler pressure.
I don't know. No.
It's under your tractive effort.
No, it wouldn't be that. It doesn't say it straight out on the Wikipedia page. You'd have to do some math, and I don't know what the math is off the top of my head.
I have no idea, to be honest. Wait.
Oh, well.
Wait. I don't know. I just don't. I can't really find. Well, actually, 1.5 cab forwards have survived.
1.5?
1.5.
Yeah, the 10 to 2-1.
That doesn't count.
I was gonna say.
Well,
1.5 mean.
I should
2.35 cab.
I should kind of specify how they survived. They're all on display.
Well, the only cab
the cab forward is also on display.
Yeah. Oh, all right then. Okay.
Although it is in much nicer condition than the Yellowstones.
Yeah.
Well, there's one at a railroad museum.
It's a museum quality display, indoors,
as opposed to a hanging out display.
Indoors.
Right.
Well, here's one about
what
the one in Duluth is museum quality.
Is it indoors?
It's indoors.
Oh.
And then there's whoops.
That's nice.
I closed the page. How do I find that? Okay. No, continue.
No,
which engine is lighter on its feet? Who has less weight in general, or weight on drivers?
I have, for both classes of DM and IR, because they're different.
Just choose one. Choose the latter. Choose the latter.
So the bigger one, okay. So that the lighter one. Okay, the M3 class has 560,257
on the drivers.
On the drivers.
Okay, I have 531,700 pounds on my drivers.
So who wins?
So the
what's the
Southern Pacific is a little bit lighter.
But what's the total engine weight?
My total engine weight is 657,900 pounds.
Yeah, you still have me beat that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure if that's the winning score. I was just wondering which one was lighter for simplicity. But in some cases, a heavier engine is
in Lee's case
better,
especially when it gives you a 4.0 on a factor of adhesion.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the big deciding factor for me is tractive effort.
So yeah, I was about to ask that.
Okay.
It's tractive effort on the cap, because that, even with adhesion considered, that's basically what that's what it comes down to.
Where do you
They're close
find
enough
that?
on weight and they're close enough on factor of adhesion. If one of them blows the other out of the water with tractive effort.
Okay, T-shape, you can go.
What's the tractive effort? Where do you find that?
It's 140,000 pounds.
Oh, okay. That's the tractive force engine. That's what I wasn't sure of. Okay.
Milky, what's yours?
Are you using the link that I gave you?
Yes, I am, but I didn't understand the tractive force engine.
That's not what it says.
That's what it says.
No, you're not using the link that I gave you.
Yes, I am.
Milky, what's yours?
steamlocomotive.com/.
Mine's
I didn't know there was a whole page for. Okay.
Mine's 124 and 300 pounds of effective effort. So I didn't get as much, but
it's also a lighter engine.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you think about it, the Yellowstone would be able to pull more, but the cab forward would get off quicker.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Well, its cab is in the front, so it is easier.
I feel like they're, with that last statistic, I feel like they're pretty well and truly tied. You know, it's not. It's very interesting. They're very close, in my opinion. Ellis, what do you think?
Well, the cab forward definitely wins in terms of style points.
That's true.
We all know
that.
Oh yeah.
I think I'm going to say cab forward's my winner for that. Because it was such an innovative design and because it was so good for its cruise.
Yeah.
That it was renowned as one of the most safe steam engines on the SP.
Just a cruise.
So, I will declare cab forward as my opinion.
One more question, Milky, and I'm not sure if you're going to be able to pull this. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to answer this for me. I'm just curious. Do you know how far it could go on one full load of fuel?
No.
Do you even have an estimate? I was just wondering.
Probably.
Because I know that the Yellowstone with 25 tons of coal this one actually is 26. 26 tons of coal and 25,000 gallons of water would take it 100 miles.
These could go over Donner Pass without having the refill.
How long is Donner Pass? Because it is quite a hill.
And it curves
quite a hill.
Yeah.
Donner Pass.
And 100 miles was it dragging a coal train as well.
Yeah, exactly.
But
it's about
40 miles roughly, but that's not even counting the hill. Speaking of
that, Nick can probably run from. Well, let's hang on.
And they ran them from Los Angeles to Portland, and I think it was on one tender full name. I want to think that it is, but I'm not 100% sure. But I'm pretty sure that Cap 4 could do that no problem.
They are oil burners too, which means they are significantly more efficient in fuel economy.
Well, this one can be oil burner, so.
But the one we're talking about isn't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well.
So.
I think It's a very slim margin, but I think I'm going to have to side with Weibold here, just because I don't want... Firstly, because I don't want to leave it a tie. Because the thing that earned the points for me was that the fact that the Yellowstones did burn coal, and I'm just a proponent of coal firing.
Smoke coal every day.
Exactly. But either way, if I choose neutral, that means Weibold has the only vote, and that means Milky is won. And if you guys think we're right or wrong, be sure to post in the comments.
Yeah.
Milky gets dropped down to 1. That means, so far, he has the first in the closing remarks.
Whoa. End of decade.
Oh, is that what winning at Locomotive Versus does? Is it drops you a point?
Yeah, that's what I said at the beginning.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just get with the program.
But, yes, so, one other thing, because I love throwing this out there, that 63-inch driver diameter is also the same as my Mikado.
It's not
So
yours.
it seems to be a very...
It's not used
It isn't.
until the zombies come.
It is in my world.
It is in canon.
But it seems to be a very common driver diameter, 63 inches, for freight or mixed engines.
Hang on.
What?
Hang on. 63 inches is your common?
Gotta go get more toast.
Gotta get my
I've got
boat.
44 inches.
Yeah. Oh well.
Well, that's probably switchers, right? 44 inches?
It's a Mikado.
Is that narrow gauge?
No. Yes, it is. I'm actually going to scale that proportionally and see as far as driver diameter to gauge how that stacks up.
It probably matters significantly. I'll find you the driver diameter of Forney later, and you can tell me what you think about that as well.
Okay, so it's 4 foot 8.5 is...
Yeah, 4 foot 8.5.
So
Yeah, but the thing is, though, you can't say that because some narrow gauge railroads were not uniform.
And no. What?
Like with their, because you're saying like there's a fixed proportion or ratio of it.
We're just
It's for
checking
this
to see
class
with
of locomotive,
common,
TJ.
with common engines.
Okay.
I'm not gonna find. I very highly doubt they made any 2-foot gauge Mikados.
Oh, I win.
So-
69 inches. Don't say it.
Wow.
Oh my.
So proportionally, I have bigger drivers.
What?
Proportionally, you're still not gonna get anywhere. I'll still beat you there.
Proportionally.
How did we get to
I'll
this?
be there.
In Locomotive Versus. So model railroading, I haven't been to the club because my mouth.
Because teeth.
TJ hasn't been there either.
Because Pennsylvania.
Because Pennsylvania and everywhere. But we discussed the club, or at least I discussed the club at length with Weibold because we were talking about different buildings. So, or our different buildings. So we got something to say on that.
Wait, I have something to say on it? Oh. Yes, I do,
Yeah.
actually, I do. Whoops.
I do, yay!
Well, yay! I actually accommodated for something. But first off, big news this week, we got a new layout.
Hooray.
Yay! Which
End of decade.
What happened to the old one?
It's still there. We just have 2 now.
They got a little modular one like we're trying to build.
We got a little switching one that we built back in the 90s, but we put on loan to the Pueblo Railway Association, which I will talk about in a little bit.
Uh-oh, now I understand the context of what you were saying.
Yep. And we built this thing back in the 90s, and we had it on loan to Pueblo, and they stopped using it in, like, 2005, and basically, I don't know if it was just to spite us, they, like, covered it in these Pueblo Railway Association stickers and shoved it into the back of a barn. And we just now got it back, and I'm waiting to go to the club this week with just a big jar of Goo Gone to remove all the stickers, because I have a feeling that's going to be my job. Everybody else is going to be stuck repairing the Digitrax. I'm going to be scraping stickers off of plexiglass.
You need to tell us about that as well, by the way.
I will. But the layout, the new layout isn't very much. I think it's like 16 feet by 4 feet, I want to say.
Oh, so it's bigger than our little modular layout, Ellis. Well, that's our club.
It's a big...
Everything's bigger than our tiny layout.
It's fairly big for a modular layout. It's like a
one.
switching layout.
Yeah.
It's not
Ours was the epitome of switching.
Yeah, ours isn't
was
really
about
a modular
2
thing.
feet by 3 feet, or 2 feet by 4 feet rather.
Yeesh.
It's effing tiny.
Yeah, ours
Like,
isn't.
you could
ours
switch
isn't really
one car
a
and
modular
leave.
layout. It's a switching layout.
Yeah.
But
Lee, I meant a module. Sorry.
yeah, it's not really
Just
a module.
layout module. That
A
you bring
module
to,
layout.
It is a pretty. It's a pretty big.
God.
It's fairly big in terms of switching or modules. But building strife, we have. Well, basically, as Ellis mentioned a minute ago with the building comment, the Providence Northern is situated in what sounds like a very small building.
Not
It's
really.
rather small, yeah.
Rather small. Well,
It's Rhode Island.
our club is housed in a building that our club joint has like 70% interest in. So we own a lot of the building, and if the building is doing great, then we're doing great, and if the building's not doing so hot, we're not doing so hot. And a lot of the building is empty, open for lease. And so that's a good thing in some areas. Like we have storage, like the second layout currently is just upstairs in a big open room. Nobody's renting the place and we hold that much interest in the building, so who's going to stop us? We're just going to... One room is just filled with freight cars right now, and the other one's that second layout. But, we're going through some financial trouble just because we can't fill the lease in the building. And it's a big building too. It's a decent sized, office building. Might be a little bit misleading, but it's
Because it's not very tall.
no, it's 2 stories tall. Well, it's 3 stories tall, but it'd be a good one for like a small business headquarters, because you could. Well, it's trying to compare it to something. It's like a small commercial front type thing, although it's a block's worth of commercial front buildings. And so we have...
It's basically a strip mall.
Yeah, kind of. And it's really nice and everything, but we have
It's
like
like
a
the strip-
caboose.
It's like the strip mall in quotes next to Lowe's, Ellis, with like 2 stores in it.
Oh. But
I don't think I've been to the Lowe's over here.
Huh?
we have a caboose
Yeah.
parked out front, and if things don't chin up, I'm not really sure what we'll do, but especially with one of the club members that held a lot of the interest in the building passed, and, those shares kind of went up in the air. So, yeah, a little bit of building trouble. And Union Station!
Okay.
I love Denver Union Station dearly. It is really pretty. It is really nice. And then they go and they make it this really weird, futuristic-looking thing that is, honestly, I think looks really dumb with the existing terminal. I wish they would have just restored the terminal and not tried to, urban renewalize it. But the other thing they did that really annoys me is when they started the restoration, they said they were going to have to close the station for 2 years. And there are 2 railroad clubs in the basement of Union Station, one of which is actually the oldest organized railroad club in the country. And they were in the basement of Union Station and they'd been working on their layouts for like 75 years or something. And then about 3/4 of the way through the construction, the builders come along and say, "No, we're gonna have to evict you to get you all out of the way of the construction. You have 10 hours to move your entire layout out, and anything that's not gone is going in a dumpster."
Sheesh.
Can I
Yeah.
dumpster?
That stinks.
10 hours to clean up a 75-year-old layout.
Can I
75 years worth of progress.
So they didn't really plan on moving that bench
No.
work then.
Ever.
It was completely short notice. They said that as soon as the station reopened, the clubs could go back to the layouts and resume business as normal. And it was completely unexpected. Like 3/4 of the way through the construction, they just kicked them out.
Guess who
And
started? Guess
we
who
had one
started a
of the-
modular layout?
Yeah, we had the president of one of those clubs visit our club this week, and just a little bit down. He was hadn't seen an HO train set in a while. They were, he was describing the chaos of it all. Like they're just tearing out buildings and throwing them in boxes and pushing cars off of the layout, and they're doing things you'd never think of. Like they're going in with screwdrivers and salvaging the switch motors because they can buy new tracks, but the switch motors are expensive. So they're going under, getting all the DCC stuff out, getting all the weird electronic bits out. And he was saying just how chaotic it was. And I think that might be the reason I was inclined to bring up the building strife kind of thing with, just to remember that we're not immortal.
Indeed.
Neither are the clubs we belong to. We've had...
And it reminds me a lot of moving the Providence Northern. I mean, I wasn't there for it, but I've heard so much about it. Moving the Providence Northern out of the old Hathaway Street building, because they kept the dude who owned the building
would
come up there and see the layout and figure, these guys aren't going to go anywhere. And so he kept cranking up the rent, and then the Providence Northern decided, well, we're going, and they tore down the layout in a weekend.
And that one was twice the size.
Yes, twice. It was maybe twice or 3 times the size of the one we have right now. And a couple of chunks survived. One of them is the branch line.
Where Lee operates?
What?
Where Lee is?
Yeah, where Lee
parts
lives.
of the branch line, because it was set up differently, wasn't it?
It was the same shape, but it wasn't attached to the, it wasn't attached to the layout the same way.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Actually, it's not the entire branch line, it's just the paper mill in Rumford.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought it was an actual branch line.
Because Berlin was, Berlin had nothing in it in the old club. It was just a straight through.
Well...
Now the branch line is the most industry-filled place on the layout, which is really cool, because that's where you go to switch.
But, yeah, I thought I'd bring that up just to say we've had... Again, it was something that I hadn't been informed of until fairly recently. 2 fallen flags, one of which the oldest organized model train club in the country, now a fallen flag. And, things going a little bit shifting into, we can go back to TJ in a minute, but skipping over to live steam, again with the whole you're not immortal thing, the first railroad I ever drove a live steamer on is gone. It's long gone. They sold the land and they tore up the tracks and everything, and I saw a trestle getting shipped out, and it really just,
Was that recently?
Yes, that was in the past couple of years that got torn out.
That stinks.
Yeah, the first time I ever drove a train, and the line's gone.
Well, I can't say that because I haven't done that yet.
Me neither.
I've done it.
Been to a live steam.
TMR Hard Triennial 2015. We'll fix that.
Whoop whoop. The savings account is still there.
Okay,
I've been to a live steam. Well, it's not live steam, it's diesel, but
Well, mine's not.
It's called live steam.
Mine's an electric, so.
There's one up in New Hampshire.
No, Hampshire.
Apparently there are 2 in Rhode Island, but they're both private and nobody answers the phone.
You've actually called them?
No, but their web pages are less than existing.
Hang on, I'll find something on them. I have other sources that I haven't told you guys about before.
Like what, the FBI?
I have my sources.
The reason he pretends to hate the government so much is because he actually works for them and he doesn't want us to get onto him.
He's a mole.
Exactly.
That was
infiltrating the ranks of rail fans so we can all get on the blacklist.
So we went rail fanning.
Yeah, because you're all clearly terrorist threats for photographing trains. Caught off of jellies.
Well, except for Milky.
Except for Milky.
God.
That was a discussion we had earlier. Never mind. No need to bring that up. But, TJ narrow gauge trains again?
Yes. My O-scale...
That sounded a little bit more than creepy.
My O-scale layout is, well, you've heard...
I forgot about this.
You've heard a lot of stories about my O-scale layout before.
I heard a lot of effing pipe dreams, and now I'm afraid he's going to spend a lot of money.
Well, I'm not going to be spending a lot of money. Well, partly, technically, I might be, but it's not. Okay. Anyway.
That's not very reassuring, TJ. Save money to go to Train Mountain.
That's not going to happen.
You need to. We're all going to be there.
It's going to be a warships meet.
Yeah, we need to have an actual Terminus meet up.
We need a Terminus podcast from Train Mountain.
A live video Terminus podcast.
A live Terminus on the train while we're driving.
Like one of us is on one car and that just keeps going back.
And we have someone videotaping it, yeah.
But
I'd be taking off.
A little laptop car, so we can...
a laptop car. It's just a passenger car that looks like a laptop.
Except for none of us have seen each other in real life. So we would.
Ellis,
TJ and I have.
Ellis, you're
What?
kidding. The one in Rhode Island is Father Finelli.
Who?
Yeah, who?
He's a famous live Steam guy.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
It's
The
not
club-
in the
it's private, but it's open to fellow live steamers and train enthusiasts. So just
So we
give
can
him
go, Ellis.
Yes, give him a call and he'll let you in, I'm sure.
Well,
I don't like.
the links that I have were from a source that you gave me ages ago, and none of them were helpful at all. So if you could send me that, that'd be really great.
I don't like hooligans. Get off my property.
That's just about every rail fan about here. Don't even joke about that, please.
But so instead of having the O scale go down a second level, there's gonna be a narrow gauge section, not HOU. It's gonna be all in O scale.
HO13.
No, it's HON 30.
It's ON30.
No one cares.
Oh wait, yeah, ON 30. Sorry,
I still like
But-
HO13.
but it's more expensive.
HON2, 40s.
Basically N scale.
Hey, good segue,
Yeah,
Alice.
pretty much.
Speaking of 40,
God damn it. Again with the segues.
I've just been looking around because that's what I do.
Oh my.
and I found Bachman makes an ON30 40, so I'm probably either gonna start saving money for it or ask it for Christmas or something like that. But so 40 with sound and then a Porter with sound, which would be my operating roster.
Engines.
Engines. And then I also found out that I thought a 130 rolling stock was expensive on Micromark for $67 for an 18-inch or 18-foot boxcar. Well, scale 18-foot boxcar. An actual 18-foot
Quite a boxcar.
It just has little like hinges in the middle of in like different sections so it can go around corners. But so there's 18-inch or 18-foot boxcars for $60, but it's actually 2 boxcars for $60, which isn't a bad price for O scale stuff.
Yeah, very nice.
Milky, not much.
And Milky and Y ... So the document is always very helpful, and I believe half of our
Where'd they
co-hosts
go?
disappeared. But probably to make toast and to be a terrorist.
And to go rail fanning.
And to go rail fanning, yeah. Milky has way too much free time. This shouldn't be part of it, Milky.
Get-
Wherever you are,
What?
get back.
What?
Exactly.
I-
Alright, so V-scale.
I'm making a.
Oh wait, Ellis. Well, we're still on Model Railroad, and we have to tell the stories from the Providence Northern.
Do we, though?
Yes.
Tell him
Do we
later.
really?
Do we really have the time for that?
Tell him
Yes.
next week.
I frankly abandoned the time limit, so...
Yeah.
Well, how much stuff are we really going to talk about in V-scale?
Not that much. Well,
Yeah, I have nothing.
I have basically nothing as well.
I have a guess what I found.
Well, we'll come back to the stories. The only important thing that has happened recently for me is that I am
tough.
within sight of finishing the current section of the Terminus Anaconda Railway.
Whoa!
Thus completing the 3-foot gauge portion from
Lambert Groves.
from Tamaros
Phoenix, my
up
talking.
through Sesquica, through the Skyfall Ridge cutoff, and into the junction at Caps,
At the sky, fall at the sky.
where it meets with the narrow gauge main line, which runs from Ullerston and carries logs. All the logs ever.
All your
In
logs
fact,
belong to me.
But that's the only real important thing that's happened to me so far. And next episode is going to be a screw around episode, so I've got to plan all that out.
Finally,
and make it work. Well, someone did suggest doing one every
10 episodes.
10? Huh? Yeah, I was trying to adjust my headset.
Oh.
And
someone did suggest doing one every 10. No, my teeth are fine. My mouth is not. Doing one every 10 episodes, and I kind of want to open it up and make it more I do kind of want to make it more podcasty, because I feel like it would enable me to get more work done. Now, someone else had come forward to me with doing basically a TRS 06 podcast where we all work on different things, but I haven't heard back from them recently.
You know what you should do?
What?
Since you have TS12 now, you should do, if you want to make it more podcasty.
No. TJ, keep that under wraps. That's for later.
What?
That's for later. I'll fill you in at the end.
I have no idea what he's talking about or what Weibold is talking about. Just for the record, I'm going to plead amnesty here.
I'll fill you in later.
Okay.
That's for next week.
Read the doc, Ellis. Read the doc.
Yeah. I see the doc. I figured that's what you were talking about, and I didn't know why it was relevant, especially to Weibold.
Yeah, I know. I don't get what the point of it is to Weibold.
So, moving on.
What's in the doc?
Guess what you found?
I deleted it already. Guess what I found? Now you all know that I'm a complete foamer for Strasburg Railroad.
Foamer. Oh.
Boom. Super mega foamer train of death. Nailed that.
But I found a complete engine listing except for 89 for Strasburg Railroad. So that includes 475, but not just the regular modern 475. They have a photo charter version numbered as 382 and lettered for the Norfolk and Western. They also have a 475 low headlight version for when it was on the Norfolk and Western. And then they have a Norfolk and Western Strasburg Railroad lettered pre-2000 475. So that has like the yellow box, and then it says Strasburg on it. And then
this is under V scale, so this is for TS12.
This is for TS. I'm not really sure if it works on 12 yet because I haven't had my trains with me, so I haven't been able to download it. And then I found a 7312 or number 31 for trains 12. And then of course there's a generic number 90, which doesn't really work, so I'm not really sure if I'm gonna get it or not. It's not a Russian, Ellis.
It's just pretending to not be a Russian. We all figured this out.
It's a mole.
But
from the Cold War. And then there is the only one that's not there is 89, but I'm sure someone has reskinned it along the way from Ben Neal mole.
I was about to say, please tell me there's 89 there because that's the only one I was really caring about. I just wanted my mogul. I haven't found too many reliable mogul downloads.
I found one.
But, anything else?
No.
Holy cow.
So, Milky.
What? Oh, the Oregon Sun. I haven't really done that much because I've started working on a new box at Wix.
Steaming Priest?
What?
I'm looking at Weibold's link in Skype.
What?
Okay, moving on.
The website name is Steaming Priest.
What the hell?
I never realized that.
What the shit?
Okay, moving on.
Hold on, that's gonna go in the cargoes.
I never noticed it was. I just noticed the link was Steaming Priest.
Steaming Priest.
The other thing I need to put in the link. TJ, you're gonna have to send me a link to that collection.
The what? It's in Skype.
Steaming Priest.
I thought Father Pinellas sounded Catholic.
God damn it.
What, does he have sermons on the engine?
Locomotive Jesus.
He has like painted like on the tender it says Jesus.
You know who's Locomotive Jesus?
The bigger boy.
Not the Hudsons.
No. No. Well, I would have said the Hudsons, but the Hudson Project is going nowhere. So the 5550, the new T1, because he's being resurrected.
Oh, wow!
They'll finish him on Easter.
If they finish it on Easter, then I'll go with that. Sure.
Oh, you motherfuckers!
But yeah, he has like a little cross on the number plate, and then he has his robe on on the engine.
This is all totally speculation, by the way. We have no idea what the Steam Deity looks like.
The Steam It's probably that solid gold CB&Q engine.
And then he's like sitting it, and he's pulling it in reverse so he can see the people on the train. So he's like, now people,
over water.
over a trestle, over water.
Watch the Steam Deity be like an 040 or something. It is something.
That's why nobody listens to him.
Just something completely.
No, that's the ambassador.
Maybe it's the Steam Deity screwing with you, Wybold. He just doesn't like electronics.
Doesn't like electronics, and he doesn't like being hauled around behind other engines.
And it doesn't even lift.
Anyway, continue, Milky.
Forgot what we were even saying.
So not much on the concern, but I've started a new route for trains, Chubb. It's called the Iron St. Alco Railroad.
Steam Deity.
He has moguls, Ellis.
Moguls are good for you.
The steaming priest has moguls.
Let's move on, please.
And not much that's open than open rails, but
what is the Lehman St. Alco Railroad?
The Iron St. Alco is a fictional railroad that runs between Nima, the fictional town,
and St. Alco?
Yeah.
The fictional town?
Anything more you can tell us about that?
We got a few big boys.
Okay, I could
Are you gonna
guess.
reskin them?
Whatever.
No,
Okay, so other than one story in particular, was it one story? Did I tell the Turbo Train story last time?
No.
I swear I talked about the
You
Turbo
might
Train.
have.
Whatever.
I can't remember.
Yeah, you
that.
did. You talked about the turbo train, but not about the guy.
Well, you can talk about the guy because you're the person that actually hates him.
Well, I used to hate him because he was mean, but then I saw all the cool stuff he had, and then
That's a dangerous road, TJ.
That's like, I didn't like the guy in the windowless van, but then he gave me candy.
I was thinking along different lines, but, you know.
This is TJ we're talking about.
Whoa. Anyway, so he is a dispatcher for what, Ellis?
He's a dispatcher for Amtrak.
Do you know where?
I know he works.
Probably
I know
Albany.
he works along. No, I know he works along the area in Rhode Island because I had a conversation with him at length about a couple of trains that I saw running the wrong way, and he was telling me about a breakdown that had happened and how he had to route them all around. He's really not. I mean, he can be a little bit spiteful at times, but I don't.
Well, that's the only part of him that I've ever seen.
Van.
So.
Spiteful brakeman. Troublesome trucks.
Glad somebody at least got the reference.
Now,
But anyway, so he is a stickler for prototypes since he is a dispatcher. So I was running an MBTA train. This is just one of the examples, but so I was running an MBTA train, and if you're not from New England and you're not a rail fan, you would know, or you wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know that MBTA is special in that they point all their trains south at all times.
Yeah, the locomotive always has to face south. And so
the metal machine always points south.
The metal machine.
Not that metal machine.
And so they have a cab car facing north, obviously. But our club used to have a cab car, it looks like, because there's a hole where the cab car horn should have been on the car. And there's like holes for ditch lights and stuff. But
So it has an X-cab
It's
car.
an X-cab car, so I was running.
Or it's either an X-cab car or a cab car kit that nobody bothered to wire up.
Or paint the diagonal lines. Oh, wait,
Yeah,
MBTA
exactly.
doesn't do that, do they?
I don't know.
I think that's only Amtrak, but Amslack. But so I was running it I was going north, so of course I was running it in reverse, and I was going probably a prototypical speed. And he goes, now keep in mind, he may be a nice guy, but this is the only part I've seen of him. Like, this is the only thing he's ever said to me, really.
I never said he was nice. I said he was alright.
You said he could be spiteful.
But so he goes to me, he goes, "Where's your cab car?" And I go, "Oh, they don't have one."
Does he have that same voice like the villain from Popeye?
No, he doesn't actually sound. He doesn't actually sound like that.
I just like to impersonate people on the way I think they sound.
Nor does Person X sound like.
I never imagined him sounding like that. I imagined him sounding like Steve Urkel.
Oh God!
Actually, it's a
That's not how they set up the regionals.
next time. Yeah. A little bit of Skeletor in there.
I'm a farmer. Oh, damn it, I didn't do that.
Whatever.
Anyway, so I go, "Oh, they don't own a cab car. These aren't my cars. These are club cars." He goes, "Oh, well, you're running too fast in reverse." I go, I thought it was more of a prototypical speed. He goes, "Not after Providence, it's not." I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." So I slowed down a little bit. Then I stopped at the station, and I was like crossing over so I could go on the right track so I didn't head on into somebody going south.
Oh my.
And so I was just kind of slowing down, going through the crossover. He goes, "Did you look at the signals before you went through the crossover?" I go, "Yeah." And he goes,
"Oh, he asked you if you looked at the signals?"
"Well, first he did." And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well," I go, "Yeah, but they're not active, and I don't think there's any trains coming. I can see the whole, because it was on a straight. It was in Framingham."
Oh, okay,
like
yeah.
Framingham.
So I could.
Well, there's the station, and then there's the entire length of the room before you hit another turn.
Yeah, so I would have been able to say stop to someone. And
or at least look out.
Jump to light speed and get across the crossover.
So I was in the crossover, and he goes, "Well, did you look around the corner?" I go, "No, but there's nobody coming. I'm one of the only people running today, and the only other people are running on the track that I was just on." And he goes,
For the record, TJ, not to put a hole in your story, but there aren't any working signals in Framingham right now.
Well, that's what I said.
There aren't any signals at all.
I said they aren't working.
He said to check the signals, and TJ said, "Yeah, but they're not active."
You didn't listen, Ellis.
Well, no, because earlier when you were explaining this, you said to me the signal was green. And now you're explaining
it was going green through Providence. Not Providence, but
okay.
the area where the signals are green. You know, the ones that work. The few that work.
Yeah. Well, on no given day is it guaranteed that signals work.
Last time we used signals, we got a narrow gauge big boy. So we've stopped using signals.
Well, you stopped using your entire Digitrack system last Tuesday.
Well, yeah, because it's smoked.
Smoke.
We figured
It might have lung cancer. You might want to take it to the doctors.
Smoke coal every day.
TJ, you're getting one for that.
But so anyway, so I knew there wasn't anything coming, and he managed to lecture me about looking at crossovers and reading signals and.
Well, the history of crossovers is detailed in this manual. I want a 3-page essay by Sunday.
By next Saturday. He'll never get it done in time. I'm gonna give him an F in dispatching. But
I give you an F in dispatching.
The F is for.
So you'll go and you'll work for CSX.
CSX doesn't have problems with dispatching. It has problems with being on the track.
Indeed.
But anyway, and then...
They can tell the trains where to go, they're just not going to get
And then, so I was running a mixed train, and in my usual style, in reverse.
Whoa, we got badass over here.
But this...
No, we have a TJ.
But this, I forgot what engine I was running, But this one engine didn't happen to have a reversing light, whatever it's called. I don't know.
It was. Oh, you were running the 10-wheeler.
Yeah, the 10-wheeler. It doesn't have
It doesn't have a lot of anything. I'm not sure I don't think the light in the front works either.
It barely works.
It doesn't have sound either, and it really it's friends with Lee in the fact that it can't lift.
It can lift with Lee though. A little.
I'm surprised you don't work together more often.
Well, we would, but they're not speed balanced very well.
No, they're not. We had to run them separate. Like, we couldn't consist them. We had to run them on their own.
I still don't understand the whole consisting thing. Whenever guys double-head at our club, they fuss about consisting for a half hour before they go. And here I am with 2 Digitrax controllers, one in each hand.
I do that.
Running each of the engines independently and doing just fine.
But Ellis doesn't double-head with them. He runs 2 trains at once.
I do. I have run 3 trains at once.
Oh, dear. Well, you can do that on one controller because each Digitrax controller you can toggle between 2 trains.
Well, yeah, no, that's what I mean. We have the nice the Pro Cab controllers. We use NCE, but we have the Pro Cab controllers, which you have the recall function, and then we have the Engineer Cab controllers, which are little boxes with a dial on them and a number sheet.
Which in some ways I like those better than the other ones, but in some ways I like the other ones better.
Yeah, well,
I have the Power Cab.
The little box ones are wireless, which is nice.
Good
or most
Power
of them are.
Cab.
And the Pro Cab ones are not wireless in most cases, so that's the different advantages. But I started out the day with just the Pro Cab. I started one train, then I started the other train using the recall function to bring them both, and then I decided to run Lee with something, so I grabbed one of the little boxes and brought out the third train. So I had 2 trains, one running in each direction around the layout, and then
Lee.
Switching in the branch.
doing switching work in the meantime, just kind of keeping an eye out on the main line to see where the trains were. It started to cause hell once people actually came in, because I'm normally one of the first people there in the morning. But so I had to sideline 2 of the trains. But yeah, dual wielding.
But so yeah, I was going in reverse, and I was running it down the branch line, and I was going nice and slow because it's a 10-wheeler going up a slight grade. So I was going slow.
Wait, which end of the branch line were you coming out of?
The tunnel.
Oh yeah. Oh. Wait, no, you mean just out of lower staging?
Yeah, out of lower staging.
Yeah, and slight grade in air quotes.
Yeah.
It's like 3%.
Yeah. But he managed. No, I wasn't coming out of. No, through the tunnel into Rumford. If that's...
Oh, into Rumford? That's a downgrade.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. I've gotten stuck in it.
Yeah, me too.
Got stuck on a downgrade?
No!
No,
wow.
You got stuck going down.
No, Ellis, I was running the train from lower staging to Rumford, and there's a slight uphill.
Oh, okay.
And...
Okay, yeah. I was backwards on the way I thought you were going.
Yeah, but so I was running in reverse as my... name entails. Old reverse TJ.
Is that That's seriously not your name, is it?
No, it's not. But
my name seriously is Old Derail, though.
But imagine if I walked in on the 16th, and Ray goes to me, "Hey, old reverse, what happened?"
I'm gonna tell him to do that when you come next Saturday.
The Terminus.
I have
what we think of them.
I think I did tell Ray about the Terminus. There was a day where I was telling people about it, and then I almost told Person X because I wasn't paying attention.
Oh my god.
That would have been bad. Although by the looks of it, he probably would have gone on. He's like, "Man, this Person X sounds like a real TJ, huh?"
Running mixed trains, like Amtrak contests.
Or he'd be like, "I really like this Person X. He's great for yelling at TJ about mixed trains. Yeah."
He's right to think cats doesn't have shades. They don't.
Mystery solved. Person X is apparently Skeletor.
Yeah, indeed.
But
anyway.
So he got yelled at. Why are you going in so fast in reverse over the cap car?
No, because the 10-wheeler was having a little trouble, so I kind of revved it up like you do with Lee. And I just kind of revved it up.
I do that
the steam engine.
Yeah, when you spin wheels.
Oh, we did the Gay Pride engine this week. Apparently, it pulls like it sounds. It couldn't make it with 3 coaches.
I know that feel.
But it's a Pacific. It's a big engine.
Yeah, well, we have a Pacific that has that trouble too. We call it ice wheels.
Yeah, we call this one the Gay Pride engine.
But anyway, so I was spinning the wheels, and so it unexpectedly gripped the rails, like someone put frog snot or bullfrog snot on the rails.
Like someone put frog snot on the rails. How do you do that?
And
you
just
just like get a
boom.
frog and smear him on the track like a bright boy.
Wow.
Like a CM.
And TJ's dying.
Speaking of Milky, where'd you go?
It's gotten to the point of the night where I'm forgetting everyone's name.
I made.
But yeah, it's like it's like the CMX clean machine just with a frog on the bottom. Anyway, so and it started to grip all of a sudden, and it flew out of the tunnel. And the guy goes, "Why are you going so fast in reverse?" I go, "I'm sorry." I'm sorry, I didn't know it was gonna slip. It was slipping.
I'm sorry, please don't kill me.
He goes, "Well, you need another engine on that. Don't go so fast. You're gonna fly off the corner. You're gonna jump the tracks."
You're gonna jump the tracks, and then you'll be in Casey Jones' locker. Meow.
You know, the only person I've actually seen straight jump the tracks at speed was
Justin.
Ethan, and
Oh,
Justin hasn't jumped the tracks. He did make the train so long it fell off the curve, but
He jumped the track, not at speed.
That
Yeah.
doesn't count as
Well,
jumping the track.
pretty much everyone jumps the tracks not at speed because it's the Providence Northern and all the rails bend in weird directions.
Alright, so
But was TJ's friend Ethan, and he was
What?
driving around.
He's
I
not
was
my friend.
on the other.
Well, I'm sure he's
one.
very happy about that.
But
He's sitting there
probably
crying.
not, honestly.
What?
But he was. I was standing on the opposite side of the partition from them in the unconstructed area between Providence and Framingham, and all I hear is thud, the thud, and it was
Sounds like a rock song.
his poor friend. It was like a brand new E unit or F unit, and it had just. He was coming around the curve up. He had just passed the high point before St. Johnsbury because there's a second high point.
And it's
But
not
he had
scenic
just
or anything,
passed
so
that
it's just
and-
like a bridge.
Yeah, and there's some track work over there. He must have hit. I don't know. Stuff gets left sometimes, whether it was a spike at a place, but the engine basically just bounced into the air, dove off the table, and wrecked onto the
It
floor.
was an unhappy locomotive.
It was suicidal.
It was new, but was it like Spectrum or something, or Proto 2000? Was it like a really nice engine?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you.
Well,
Was it his?
I was just kind
It
of
was
searching
his.
through
Okay.
videos, and I ended up on his channel. And the day before that happened, he had a video of it.
Oh, he did?
He's like,
Well, at least
"Guys,
he can have some
Send
memories.
me the video. I can tell you what it is.
my new blah 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 F unit." And he's like, "It's so nice." And then like 2 videos later, he's like, "Well, because it's a video of him running it or running something at the club."
Yeah.
And then he goes, "Too bad I broke my F unit today." Like 2 days
Yeah.
later.
Why is everybody Skeletor this week?
Wow.
I don't know.
Well, we saw
That's
the
what it must
crime.
be. All right, so that video, both of those videos are gonna be in the cargoes,
Okay. I think that's...
and it's gonna be they're labeled as Hello F Unit and R.I.P. F Unit. But I think that's it, except for the conclusions. Now, the person with the least actually gets to go last, so they get to have the last word
Okay.
on this Terminus podcast, which I hope you have enjoyed, and I hope that goes for everyone. But the first person
The guest.
on this here list, no,
Rainbow
because he doesn't
Doge.
have the Rainbow Doge doesn't have any. I suppose the last word is going to be
Yep.
wow.
Yes, Rainbow.
But TJ gets the first remark.
What? No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
I have 4.
Yes, you do. Exactly.
I have
Weibold
5.
has 5.
He has 5. Why did I give him 5?
Because he's Weibold.
Well, whatever. Weibold, go ahead.
Okay.
No.
That's enough.
No.
Please don't make fun of me like this.
Okay, TJ.
All right, TJ, you can rebuttal to that because you're in position to.
Box cab Shay. But no, it does not run on broad gauge.
Wow.
And he did steal it from Weibold.
Yes, I did. The link will be in the cargoes to the picture.
Yep. Well, actually, it'll be in the conclusion.
Oh my gosh, it's a toaster that if you put lead on the boiler.
Weibold, you're no longer allowed to talk. You've had your last word.
That concludes the Terminus for me, folks.
And, so, Milky.
Trains go.
Oh, well, no, I'm sorry. You get the final word.
Yeah.
I'm one above you.
Okay.
My last thing to say here is just nothing definite. Hope to see you guys
Steaming
around.
priest.
And, TJ, you're no longer allowed to speak. You know, I should remove you from the call one by one as this goes on.
Okay.
Because I feel like that'd be prudent.
Then you would have to remove yourself.
Well, I would just shut up. I have a thing called self-restraint. Not usually, but sometimes. I also have a mute button for myself in case all hell breaks loose. But say that the competition today was very good. I'm liking the new way Locomotive Versus is turning out, and I hope that everyone here comments about the video, about what you want to see in Locomotive Versus, and about who you think the winner really was. Now, Milky, for the last word of the Terminus.
So, apparently there's this GP9 in Oregon.
Oh my god.
It goes smooth.